We've reached the midway point of the Texas high school football season, but we're not slowing down. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks presented by Visit Arlington, your guide to Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Week 6 of the Texas high school football season, and I think if you're looking around, you're saying, oh, a lot of teams are taking the week off. And in fact, this is the biggest bye week of the year. 426 total teams, if you include private school teams, are taking the week off. That is more than 28% of the state is having an open date this week. But here's the funny thing. The games that are left are absolute bangers. It is a crazy week of Texas high school football. Huge games all across the state. We start in Denton. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton. It is a top 10 6A clash as the Southlake Carroll Dragons visit the Denton Guyer Wildcats. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, young signal callers. So both of these programs have a history of putting out really, really good quarterbacks. Perhaps you've heard of a few of them like Gerard Hurd for Guyer or Chase Daniel for Southlake Carroll, or maybe the coach Riley Dodge at Southlake Carroll. But I will tell you that these two young stud quarterbacks for both these teams are the next big thing. For Southlake Carroll, it's Quinn Ewers. The sophomore has been absolutely terrific and well worth the hype. A guy that we've heard a lot about, and then when you see him in person, he's somehow even better. And then on the Guyer side, it's Eli Stowers. The junior quarterback has stepped up big, and I think he's really grown into this role as a quarterback. He has gotten so much better this season. These two young quarterbacks are going to go head-to-head on Friday night. Who has the bigger game? Key number 2, Guyer's defense. And this is kind of a question of which one shows up. Does the Guyer defense from the past couple of weeks, when they've been really sensational, led by Jonathan Jones, does that defense show up on Friday night? Or does the defense that we saw in the first 2 weeks show up when they gave up 93 points to two admittedly good offenses, but still were giving up some big plays? This Denton Guyer defense has been a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde. They need to be really, really good on Friday night. Can they show up in a big way on the big stage? And key number 3, underrated strengths. I think with all the focus being on the quarterbacks in this matchup, it's easy to overlook what may be the strongest parts of both of these teams. For Guyer, it's the running game. Cadrick Cobbs, their running back, has been sensational, and their big, bruising offensive line is blowing open holes for him to run through. It has been really fun to watch them run the ball. On the other side, for Carroll, their defense has been amazing. It's been really good. They are fast. They are fundamentally sound. They fly to the football. Graham Faluna leads the way for this Dragons defense. So I get the feeling that one of those underrated strengths is going to steal the show on Friday night. Which one is it? Who am I picking? I'm going with Guyer. I think that right now the offensive balance we are seeing from the Wildcats has been really, really impressive, and I'm just not sure that many defenses across the state are going to have an answer for it. Beyond that, they are at home, and they have traditionally played very well at home. For me, if Carroll's going to win this game, believe it or not, I think they want to keep it low scoring. Keep this game in the 20s, maybe into the low 30s. I don't think they want to get in a shootout, which is weird to say for Southlake Carroll. I think that Riley Dodge is going to dial up a fantastic game plan. Two great coaches in this one, with Dodge going up against John Walsh. I think this game is close. Could come down to who has the ball last. But for now, I think Guyer comes away with a big win. Let's go way out east. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Hawk Stadium in Texarkana. It is a 4A slugfest between the Carthage Bulldogs and the Pleasant Grove Hawks. What are the keys to this matchup? Well, key number 1, Carthage's offensive line against Pleasant Grove's defensive line. And I know that we're going to talk a lot about weapons. We're going to talk a lot about Kelvonte Dixon for Carthage. We're going to talk a lot about Bruce Garrett for Pleasant Grove. But this is where the game is going to be won and lost. And this is going to be a showdown you do not want to miss. The Carthage offensive line, led by Tykeus Crawford, is one of the very best in 4A hard stop. And pound for pound, it's one of the best offensive lines, in the entire state. On the other side, how many 4A teams have two superstar defensive ends? Well, Pleasant Grove is one of them. With Landon Jackson and Marcus Burris, they can get after the quarterback. This is the matchup in this game. The PG defensive line against the Carthage offensive line. Who wins out? Key number 2, Pleasant Grove's offensive balance. And at this point, you've heard us talk a lot about this Pleasant Grove attack and how unique it is, but it's worth reiterating that what makes them so good is the fact that they are able to run the ball and pass the ball. Obviously, this wing T attack is headlined by Bruce Garrett, their outstanding running back, but quarterback Ben Harmon can sling it as well. They have a really good knack for finding that mix of run and pass. For Carthage, they need to take away one of those elements. So, can PG's offensive balance show up on Friday night? And key number 3, pride. You'd be hard-pressed to find an area of the state that takes Texas high school football more seriously than East Texas, and these are two of the very best programs out east, at least at the small school level. Carthage has won 6 titles since 2008. They are, in many respects, the East Texas high school football program of record. Going up against Pleasant Grove, that lately has looked every bit the part of the best team in East Texas. And I guarantee you that in both of those locker rooms, Josh Gibson for Pleasant Grove and Scott Surratt for Carthage are telling their boys, guys, this is for the crown. This is for being the team in East Texas, at least from a small school perspective. So, with so much on the line, who steps up big? Who am I picking? I'm going with Pleasant Grove. Being at home certainly helps in this one, but I think their offensive balance is really what makes this team tick. The ability to throw the ball with Ben Harmon, I think, is going to test this Carthage defense in a way that they haven't seen yet this season. Now, they're going up against Carthage attack led by Kelvonte Dixon and Kai Horton, their quarterback, that is pretty explosive themselves. And if the Carthage offensive line can hold up and have a big game, I think they can pull out this road victory. But for now, I think that Pleasant Grove brings them a very narrow win. 6 p.m. Saturday at Turner Stadium in Humble. It's a battle of unbeatens between the Humble Wildcats and the Pasadena Adobe Longhorns. And who saw Humble coming? The Wildcats are off to an unbeaten start thanks to an outstanding running game led by Zaveri Harris. But my question for them is, are they tested? The teams they've played are a combined 4-19 on the season. Well, they're going to get a test this week against a Adobe team that can run the ball themselves. Dontavian Crosby, their running back, has been absolutely sensational. I think this game is hard-hitting and has a chance to be really fun. But you know what? I'm buying in on Humble. I think the Wildcats get the win. Let's go to the 409, 7 p.m. Friday night at Memorial Stadium in Beaumont. It is the unbeaten Beaumont United Timberwolves taking on the unbeaten Beaumont Westbrook Bruins in what may be the biggest game in Beaumont in many, many years. And what a job Arthur Lewis has done at Beaumont United, the new program rising up to 6A with the merger of Beaumont Ozan and Beaumont Central, and they have built a defense in a hurry. They are nasty, and they play with an edge. What do they do against this Westbrook attack led by quarterback Troy Yeoman that is really flying right now? I think this game is going to be electric. Memorial Stadium is going to be jumping. But I give the edge to Westbrook. I think they come away with a win. And let's go to Fayette County, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Bulldog Stadium in Flatonia. It's another battle of unbeatens in 2A as Flatonia takes on Weimar, and these two teams know how to run the ball. Ravondre Weeks, the running back for Weimar, has been sensational, and DeCorey Willis for Flatonia has the Bulldogs off to an undefeated start. This game is going to come down to defense. It's probably going to come down to stops late. I think Flatonia's got a little something. I think the Bulldogs bring home a victory. But those are far from the only big games in Week 6 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. Austin Vandegrift beats Round Rock in a battle of unbeatens. Georgetown Eastview takes control of that wild District 13 5A Division II with a win over Brenham. And I think Lamar Consolidated stays perfect with a win over Bryan Rudder. With apologies to Coach Kyle Atwood's mustache, I think Port Lavaca Calhoun beats Alice. Give me Miles over Cross Plains, and Euless Trinity takes down St. Angelo Central. West Orange Stark edges Jasper. Crane beats Ozona, and give me Sealy over Brazosport. Pearland takes down rival Pearland Dawson. Azle takes down Crowley, and in another battle of unbeatens, I like Cy Fair over Cy Falls. Pampa beats Dalhart. Honeygrove stays perfect with a win over Cumbie, and I like Groover over Wheeler. Diboll stays perfect with a win over Crockett. Gladewater Sabine stays perfect with a win over Tatum, and Abilene Cooper stays perfect with a win over Lubbock Coronado. Holland beats Thorndale. El Paso Andrus beats El Paso Burgess while the rest of El Paso takes the week off, and Waco Connolly beats Lorena. Temple squeaks by Belton. Sherilyn Pioneer beats Mercedes, and up north, I like Holiday over Wichita Falls City View. Northside Harlan beats San Antonio Harlandale, while the rest of San Antonio is pretty much taking the week off. And in our six-man game of the week, I like Oakwood over Union Hill. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/DaveCampbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/DaveCampbells. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy Week 6 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.